Good morning, I'm sweaty again. We just finished our walk. Zuzu's in the back, Theodore's over here. And I wanted to talk to you about your story. We all have stories that we tell ourselves, and they're not necessarily true. They might be something that somebody decided for you. Maybe when you were a teenager, when we're really impressive. We're really impressive, but we're really impressed upon. How about that? Maybe somebody said something to you like, I have leaves in my hair. Somebody said something to you like, well, you're not a good dancer. And for the rest of your life, you think to yourself, I'm not a good dancer. And maybe that's not true. Maybe you just pick that up and you put it in your psyche, and that's where it's lived, and it's not true. So I want you to take today and in your journal, think about what stories you tell yourself. So were there maybe an old boyfriend, or I would almost start with categorizing people. What did your mom tell you that is a story and not necessarily true about yourself? What about your dad? What about, an aunt or an uncle? I'd kind of start with your family, siblings. And then, maybe that first boyfriend or girlfriend, or then take it into a relationship level. For some of us, it could be the first or second or third husband. You never know. I want you to really sit and think about the things, oh, you're fat. Are you really? I've had one-on-ones this week with women who think they're fat, and they're not. They are not. They are, for their height and weight, they're wonderful, but they think they're fat because somebody told them they were, and they internalized that. So I want you to kind of get into that this week, or today, and for the week. I mean, you can do it forever, but let's start thinking about the things that we've internalized that aren't necessarily true. If you haven't heard about Byron Katie, she's wonderful. But one of the things that she starts with is it true? So when you think something that's not good about yourself, then think, is it true? So like, say maybe I do something, I go, oh my God, you're so stupid. Is that true? No. I might not be Stephen Hawking, but I'm certainly not stupid. So I want you to start doing that. And if you haven't checked out the work of Byron Katie, when you get a minute, I would definitely download an audiobook. There's many podcasts that she's on, or many podcasts that talk about her work. It's actually called The Work. Melissa Urban from Whole30, she's a devotee, and she has several things about that. In the anti-racism podcast, she actually goes through the work of Byron Katie in order to answer the "Am I racist?" question. And I think there's another podcast with that. So you might want to start there since you're doing a Whole30, but definitely just kind of Google that. But start really thinking about those things that you tell yourself. That internal dialogue is so important. So important. And somebody else had brought up a question in group, or is either group or in one of my one-on-ones yesterday. And it was about emotional eating. And I mean, we've covered emotional eating. But understand that what you're really trying to do when you're eating emotionally is you're trying to ground yourself. That is food is a spiritual way to ground yourself, to bring you down, to make you feel more comfortable. And of course, unfortunately, we don't pick, beef stew to ground ourselves with. We pick things like ice cream. So while I would never tell you not to eat beef stew, if you're eating just to ground yourself, there's other ways to do that. And that is sitting with a good book. Make the inflammation fighter, the turmeric and bone broth cup of, or whatever it is, recipe. And I can't call it tea because it's not really tea. The bone broth. It's bone broth, turmeric, a little olive oil, and I think we've got that in your thing there for you. So, you can ground yourself that way with a book. Anything very ritualistic, making a bath, taking a walk, something with rituals is a really great way to ground yourself. So understand that when you're looking for solace and comfort, food is not your only option. If you're hungry, eat. If you're not hungry, don't. And by now, you should know the difference between the two. So again, just to recap, because I'm very chit-chatty this morning, let's really start looking at those internal dialogues, the negative roommate, if you will. That's that person inside your head that is just very shaming and does the whole guilt trip on you. That's not really you. That's outside influences and outside expectations. So get with that. Grab your journal, brain dump it all on your journal, and let's see where you can go from here. Thanks so much, and I will talk to you later.